House Democrats are sending an early warning signal to Speaker Mike Johnson that he shouldn't count on them to rescue him again. Johnson will have the barest of majorities next year, and he's facing growing unrest within the Republican conference. With a majority as narrow as 219 to 215, Johnson may only be able to afford to lose one vote. Kentucky Republican Congressman has said he will vote against Johnson's reelection as Speaker on January 3rd, with several other Republicans saying they are undecided. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says Johnson shouldn't be looking at Democrats to save him this time.
There has been questions about whether Mike Johnson is at risk of not being the Speaker of the House in a couple of weeks. What do you think?
I think that's a real risk, and there will be no Democrats available to save him or the extreme MAGA Republicans from themselves based on the breaching of a bipartisan agreement that reflected priorities that were good for the American people.
Julian, when you see what's happening right now with the Democrats, some people are saying this is basically the Democrats' house because nothing is going to happen without their approval because Mike Johnson doesn't have any confidence of many other Republicans. And so, but if he's turning towards Hakeem Jeffries again to help bail him out, then people are basically saying, you know, we got President Musk and we pretty much got House Speaker Jeffries. How do you see how the Democrats are handling this?
I think that Hakeem Jeffries is an amazing leader. I think that most of the Democrats in the caucus, really all, even the centrists, are basically. I heard one man say, "You know, I'm Team Jeffries. I'm gonna take cues from leadership." So what that means is that there are very few opportunities for Johnson to get anything through. He's being pushed. I feel sorry for the man, kind of. I mean, he's being pushed from his right and from his far right, and then he has somebody who purchased a co-presidency. He paid to be co-president. And given that, what do we expect to have happen when it gets down to crunch time? Right now, Republicans can afford to lose one or two votes. And yet there are a couple of House races still to be called. I mean, if God is good, Democrats pick up another seat or two, and it's all over but the shout. And basically, that's what, the Republican Party has been in disarray for a very long time. And their 15-vote nonsense around Kevin McCarthy lets you know how crazy they are or how unorganized they are. The task forces with the Democrats who are going lockstep behind Hakeem Jeffries. And if they're not careful, Republicans aren't careful, Hakeem could still end up as a speaker because that one or two Republicans vote for him and see what happens. So the Republican Party has been purchased by oligarchs, and they are basically getting returns on the investment from oligarchs. Meanwhile, Democrats have been disciplined. The discipline is not going to be enough. This is something that has to be fought tooth and nail. Keeping my people in the light. Keeping my people in the light.
So, Mustafa, one of my concerns is that the Democrats may have, what if they can't keep their word? So say the whole speaker vote comes up again and there's somebody who is more extreme than Speaker Johnson who may want to come up, somebody, I don't know, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or something. And the only way that this gets prevented from happening is Democrats decide to go against go and support Mike Johnson. And just, similar to last week, how, they saved the country by avoiding the shutdown. Are you concerned about that? Do you feel like Democrats should just hold the line regardless? How do you see it from your insider perspective? Is this going to be something that a promise they're going to have trouble keeping?
Well, yeah, they may have trouble keeping it. I mean, politics is about strategy if you're doing it properly, and that means that you have to make the best decisions in the moment that you have. Of course, hopefully you're already thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead about what the possibilities are. But that's what this is all about. Folks try and complicate this. It is about strategy. It is about deciding which is the best move in the moment and how it will play out over time. And you got to do a better job of also just educating folks about how all this stuff actually plays out on Capitol Hill and in state houses. But we're talking about Capitol Hill right now. So There's going to be some very tough decisions, like Julian said, that folks are going to have to make. But you have to make sure that your base understands why you're making those decisions and what the ultimate long-term goal is. So over this next 2 years, there'll be tough decisions. But if folks get their act together, then they have an opportunity during the midterms to, kind of balance out the equation, if you will.
And so, Joe, thinking about that, Mustafa mentioned the midterms. Given what you've seen from the Democrats so far, we can talk about the House, we can talk about the Senate, we're talking about the House specifically now, but you can take it wherever you want. How optimistic are you about how organized the Democrats are going to be in fighting as we work towards the midterm election? Because, the Republicans, even though they don't have a mandate, they're talking about a mandate. They're talking about, we got super control of the House. But actually, when Trump takes office, he's going to lose a couple more seats because of his appointees. So he actually doesn't have that mandate. How do you see what the Democrats are doing going forward as we work towards the midterms? Are you optimistic, or are you concerned in any way, shape, or form?
I'm optimistic as it pertains to the House. I think that we certainly have an opportunity, and frankly, it wouldn't take much. Connecting to the previous question, I think that you have to let the Republicans make their mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. Johnson's still wet behind the ears. He should never have been Speaker. There's one part of him that may understand the realities of governing. That's why he made that bipartisan deal. And then there's the other part of him that will do whatever Trump says, which is why he pulled out of the deal. But Mike Johnson is the one that has to survive in the House. Trump is not the one that has to do that, even though he's affected by what happens, or what in this case may not happen in the House. So I like their chances, the Democrats' chances to take the House back, just because if not any other thing, the Republicans are not going to be on the same page. They're already indicated that. They're already fighting about power they don't quite have yet, right? Now, that being said, Democrats also have to do what they need to do so that folks understand why they're doing what they're doing. And when things go bad in the House, the Republicans have to be able to own it. So in other words, the Democrats can't step on each other. They have to stay on the same page so that the Republicans rise or fall with what they do at what they actually do in the House. The Democrats don't always do the best job of messaging, frankly, getting it out to people. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. Here's where we are. We don't have the majority, but we're not standing for X or Y or Z. And so hopefully they can do the things they need to do so that their base understands why they make every move that they make. And so that if the Republicans are the ones to cross counsel, to step on each other and actually stop the wheels of government from moving, then they are the ones that suffer a political consequence for it.
And you're absolutely right about the messaging. And this, like you said, it could be a great time for Democrats to really stay organized and strike. I mean, you got President Musk and Vice President Trump, and Prime Minister Vance. No one knows where he is.
Right.
Overseas right now. So this is really a great time, for Democrats to stay organized. And, let's hope that that's something that happens, because if we don't get these midterms, I don't know what's going to happen over these next 4 years. So,
hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free to download, free to use, next generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you help build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.